In this video, I'm going to show you the fastest and the easiest way to factorize quadratic expression. So we're going to work that out with these examples that we have here. So the first part, we have 4x squared plus 16s plus 15. So the first thing I have to do, I'm going to open a bracket, then I'm going to write this 4x here, then I'll close the bracket, and I'll open another bracket, I'll write 4x again, then I'll close the bracket, then I'll multiply this 4 by this 15. That's going to give me 60. The next thing I have to look for is the factor of 60, such that when I add them together, I'm going to get 16. Obviously, that's going to be 10 and 6. 10 times 6 is 60, and 10 plus 6 is 16. So I'm going to write plus 10 here, then I'm going to write plus 6 here. So the next thing we have to do is to factorize these two. I look for a common factor between 4 and 10. That's obviously 2. So I'm going to divide this by 2. So I'm going to have 2x plus, I'll divide this by 2 again. I'll have 5. Then I'll divide this by 2. I have 2x. Then I'll divide this by 2. I'm going to have 3. So this, the common factor between this and this is also 2. So this is the factor of this. You can just quickly check that by multiplying this back and check whether you get this back. So let's see. 2 times 2x times 2s is going to be 4x squared. 2s times plus 3, that's going to be plus 6x. 5 times plus 2s, that's going to be plus 10x. Then 5 times 3, that's going to be 15. So you're going to have 4x squared plus 6s plus 10s, that's 16x plus 15. So you can see that this is exactly the same as this. So that means our factor is what? Correct. So just 2 steps, we get to our factor. So let's go to number 2. In number 2, we have 2s squared plus 7s plus 3. So again, I'm going to open a bracket and write 2x, and I'll close the bracket, open another bracket, I'm going to write 2x. So then I'm going to multiply this by this. That's 2 times 3, that's obviously 6. Okay, then we're going to look for the factors of 6 such that when we add them together, that's going to give us 7. And that's obviously 6 and 1. Yeah, 6 and 1. We'll multiply 6 by 1, it's going to give us 6, and we'll add that together, that's going to give us 7. And so we're going to add the 6 here, and we'll add 1 here. It doesn't mean you can put the 1 this way and the 6 this way. So I'm going to find the common factors of this and this. That's obviously 2. So I'm going to divide this by 2. So I'm going to have x plus, you divide this by 2, you're going to have 3. Then you're left with here. There's no common factor between them. So you're going to leave it at that plus 1. So again, you can just check if that is correct. So you multiply this. Next, let's look at number 3. For number 3 again, now we're going to open a bracket, write 3x, then we'll close the bracket, open another bracket, write 3s, then close the bracket. Then we're going to multiply 3 by 8. That's going to be 24. Yes, 3 times 8 is 24. So let's look for other factors of 24 such that when we add them together, it's going to give us 10. Obviously, that's going to be 6 and 4. 6 times 4 is 24. And when we add 6 plus 4, that's going to give us what? 10. And so I'm going to add plus 6 here. And I'm going to add plus 4 here. Okay? So look for the common factor between these two. That's obviously 3. So when I divide by 3, I'm going to have x plus, when I divide by 3 here, I'm going to have 2. Then for this, there's no common factor between them. So we'll leave it at x plus 4. You can as well check again whether that's going to give us this. So x factor of this number. So let's go to the next one. Number 4, 6s squared minus 5s minus 4. So again, you're going to multiply 6 by minus 4. That's going to give us minus 24. So we're going to write this out. 6x, close the bracket, 6x, close the bracket. So we're going to look for factors of minus 4 such that when we add it together, we're going to get minus 3. Obviously, that's going to be minus 8 and 3. Okay, so minus 8 plus 3 is going to give us minus 5. And minus 8 times 3 is going to give us minus 24. So you need to be able to know the factors of this such that when you add them together, that's going to give you this. So that will help you narrow out the job. So I'm going to put 8 minus 8 here. I'm going to put plus 3 here. So we have a common factor between these two. So that's 2. So I'm going to have 3x minus 4. Then the common factor between these two is 3. So when 3 goes, I'm going to have 2x plus 1. So let's check whether this is correct, which is exactly the same as this. So easy and short method to factorize quadratic expression. Okay, if you really like what you're seeing in this video, do not hesitate to subscribe, like, and share this video so that others can also see what we're doing here. So question 5. So we're going to do the same thing. 2 times minus 9, that's going to give us minus 18. So take note that the negative sign is always multiplied by whatever we have here. If there's minus, you have to take note of the minus sign. So here we're going to write 2x, close the bracket, 2s, close the bracket. So let's look at the factors of minus 9 and minus 18 such that when we add them together, it's going to give us minus 3. Obviously, that's going to be minus 6 and 3. Minus 6 times 3 is going to give us minus 18. Minus 6 plus 3 is going to give us minus 3. So I'm going to put minus 6 here, and I'm going to put plus 3 here. So let's see if we have a common factor between this. Yeah, 2. So we're going to have x minus 3. Then there's no common factor between. We have 2x plus 3. So this is the factor. So you can just try this out and check whether we have a solution of that. So x, which is exactly the same as this. So the 2 steps gives us the answer. This is just to check whether the answers are correct. So for question 6, we have 3x squared minus 2s minus 5. Again, we're going to multiply 3 times minus 5. That's going to give us minus 15. So we have to look for the 2 factors of this. That's going to give us minus 2. Obviously, that's going to be minus 5 and 3. You need to be able to factor out this quickly. So minus 5 times 3 is going to give us minus 15, and minus 5 plus 3 is going to give us minus 2. So now we're going to open the bracket and write 3x, close the bracket, open the bracket, write 3s, and close the bracket. So we're going to put minus 5 here, and we're going to put plus 3 here. So there's no common factor between this, so we'll write this 3x minus 5. Then the common factor between this and this is 3. So 3 divided by this, we have x, and 3 divided by we have plus 1. So if you work this out, you're going to get back to this. So let's take the last part. So we're going to do 6 times 6. That's 36. This time around, we're going to look for numbers. 2 numbers that when we add together, we're going to get minus 36. And the 2 numbers must be factors of 36. So first of all, 9 and 4 are factors of 36. But when you add them together, they're not going to give you minus 13. So shift that to minus 9 and minus 4. So minus 9 and minus 4, when you multiply them together, it's going to give you plus 36. And when you add this together, it's going to give you minus 13. So we can use this in place. So I'm going to open a bracket, 6s. So I'll just put this there, minus 9. Open a bracket, 6s, and I put minus 4. Now let's check if we can, what's the common factor between these two. That's obviously 3. So I'm going to have 2x minus 3. And the common factor between these two, that's going to be 2. So I'm going to have 3x minus 2. Okay, you can work this out, expand this again to check whether you can get the same result for this. All right. So do not forget to share, like, and comment on this video if you really find it interesting and educative.